Hello, my name is Cindy and welcome to my channel. My channel is about teacher stuff and mom stuff, and today we're going to combine all of those things into a video, and I'm going to talk about the homeschool mom versus the teacher mom. So my name is Cindy. Thank you so much for coming to this video, and I'm really happy to share with you today a little bit about my experience as a mother in many ways, since I have 13 children and I have almost done it all. So I just want to share my experience with you. Maybe this can be of a little bit of help and you can enjoy some of the stories that I will share today. So today my background is a snowy background because it is snowing outside where I am, and it's very beautiful. It's only a couple of inches, so it's not too bad. It's not too inconvenient, but I did hear that the roads were a little bit slick. So we do have to be careful. Even though we live in the north, we're used to it. Sometimes people get a little too confident and yeah, we have problems. So thank you so much for coming by. And if you are new to my channel, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel for more videos like this. So today I'm going to talk about, I have 13 children and I have done lots of things with my kids over the years. And when I went to college for 4 years and I majored in math education, and I was really excited to get to go into the classroom. I did go to a Christian school, so my idea was that I would go and teach in a Christian school, and when I had children, I could be there with them. And so that was my mindset. I wasn't really thinking I'm going to go out and make $1 million. I was more thinking practical and being there for my kids. And I also had a belief way at the beginning that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. And my mother stayed home with us for many years. She did go to work when we were older, but I really appreciated having my mom home with me. And so that's what I wanted to do for my children. And so through the years, of course, having 13 kids, I've had a lot of experiences. I have homeschooled. I sent my kids to public school just for a small amount of time, like months. And I did mostly homeschooling, and I worked in a Christian school. I work in a Christian school right now. So today we're going to talk about the difference between being a homeschool mom and a mom who goes to school and teaches with the kids in tow, because my youngest right now is 17. So after this year, I have one graduating this year, and then next year my 17-year-old will graduate, and then I will be done putting my kids through high school. So it's been a long journey, and I'm almost to the end of that journey, but still looking for doing some great things myself. I have some goals, which one of which is to grow this channel. That's why I would like, if you're not subscribed, to go ahead and subscribe. And thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoy it. So today I'm going to talk about the fact that I have homeschooled, and I have also been to school. For the last 11 years or so, I have been a teacher in 3 different Christian schools. I moved around a little bit, and I just want to let you know that being a stay-at-home mom and being a teacher are both really great professions, and I have been really thankful for all of them. So I would like to talk to you a little bit about the differences of the two situations, as well as the strengths of both. And I would like to just share with you some of the unique challenges of each and the rewards that I've also experienced because of each. So first of all, I want to talk to you about being a stay-at-home mom and working as a homeschool mom. When my first was born, she was kind of active, and I knew, like when she was 4, I wanted her to go to school. I had a friend that did a little preschool, and I dropped her off a couple days a week, and that worked out pretty well. And then when she got to be kindergarten age, I sent her to a kindergarten. And at that time, I had my second and third child. So I was glad for her to go to kindergarten, And that's the kind of thought that I had. Like, I didn't really want to stay home with my kids or bring them home and do homeschool because I went to college to be a teacher. So, of course, I wanted them to go to school. I loved school. But I learned that it was really difficult as a parent to do it all, doing all the housework, taking care of other little children, plus doing the homeschooling. My mind was not geared to homeschooling at that time. But then we ended up moving from that area. We went to a new place where my oldest could go to first grade, and then my second daughter went to kindergarten. We tried homeschooling for several months, and then I sent them to the public school for the last few months of those years. And I was able to help in the classroom and some things that I didn't really like for my children, but I knew that I had to kind of just work with them. And it just wasn't really a great fit for me. So I was really praying that summer what we could do as a family that would be different than public school. It turned out that we visited a church as a family and they needed help, and they needed a teacher, they needed some help in their administration. And so my husband was able to work for them, and my kids went to that Christian school for 3 years. And I kind of liked that. I was able to be the stay-at-home mom, send my kids to school. It still was a challenge because my oldest was in second grade. And at that time, I was pregnant with my sixth child. So it was a little bit of a challenge. I had to get up early, put the kids together, make their lunches, make sure they had everything they needed. And so I did that for 3 years, and I did enjoy that. I enjoyed the ministry there. I enjoyed the people there. And then it was time for us to move to a different situation. And we actually moved to the location that we're in right now. And in this location, there were no Christian schools close enough for us to drive to. So we just homeschooled. It was my only option. And so I got involved in my community with other homeschoolers. We were able to get ourselves some books. We had curriculum. We were very involved in the library. We would take the kids to the library and we would do story time. I met a lot of nice people there as well. We would go on hikes throughout. Right where I live, there's lots of hikes. We would drive to hikes. In New Hampshire, there are hikes everywhere. And that's one thing I really loved to do with my kids, was getting out in nature. And I could do that. I could do the schoolwork for a few hours, and then we could go take a walk. And it was really great. So I loved homeschooling because I could control what my kids are learning. I could be with them all the time. I could teach them other skills besides reading, writing, and arithmetic. They learned how to cook. They learned different skills. We built a chicken incubator. We incubated chickens. We actually purchased chickens after that because not too many of them hatched. We bought chickens online, and then we picked them up at the post office, and we raised them at our house. We had our own eggs for several years. We even raised 2 different pigs. We called them Mr. Bacon and Mr. Sausage. So we got the pigs from a local fair, which I have a couple videos about the Deerfield Fair. We caught them there, and then we raised them, and we put them in the freezer for food. And that was a great homeschool experience. Lots of stories I could go on and on about with that. But my kids learned a lot of great things. My oldest boys, they did Civil Air Patrol in the next town over. My oldest boy was able to work with a roofer, and he worked hard for him. He was able to learn a lot of skills by doing that. And my oldest daughter, she did cake decorating. They studied the Constitution, went to visit the State House. So many activities we were able to do together as a family. And one big, huge part of our lives was music. My older kids all played the violin, and we played in the orchestra, and we did a lot with music. We went to nursing homes, and we ministered to lots of different people in the nursing homes. One thing I really liked about homeschooling is it was very flexible. You could look at your student and you could just tailor make your activities by things that you like and you want your kids to learn, and you could also look at what they like and figure out what they want to learn, and you could tailor make the curriculum to anything that you want. And I live in New Hampshire, and the laws for homeschooling are very, very broad. You can really tailor make their education. So it was really great. And I just really loved raising my family. Of course, I had 13 kids, so a lot of our activities were related to, going to the doctor's appointments. I had a kid every other year, and we had our own little schedule, but I wouldn't trade all of our experiences for anything. So then I want to talk, secondly, about my experience as a teacher. When I had my sixth one graduate from high school and he went off to do his, be an adult, I was a little bit sad. I was surprised at how sad I was when the older kids moved out. And I knew that the younger kids needed something different, like their best friends were moving on, starting their life, and they wanted, adventures of their own. And I was a little bit like tired and losing some creativity. And so the nearby Christian school asked me if I would like to teach there, and then my kids could go to school there in exchange for me being a teacher. And I thought, well, this would be great. So we were all excited. I had 7 children, and this Christian school, they wore uniforms. So we would get up early, pack our lunches, and go off to school, and everybody went to their own classes. So I called this homeschool with help, because they all got to go to their age appropriate classes, and I actually taught first, second, and third grade, and I was able to teach that combination class, and 2 of my children were also in that class. So I enjoyed, by teaching, I enjoyed having a set routine. We knew what we had to do. We had to be there at a certain time, and we were able to get the work done. And plus, my kids were able to have friends. We participated in sports, which we had never done before, like as team sports and stuff. And they were able to do recess with new people. And it was just a really positive and happy experience for us. And for me as a teacher, it was great because I was able to finally use my teacher skills in a way I was used to, with a routine. Homeschooling was a little bit more, lots of different things happening, and it wasn't really my comfort zone completely. But when I'm in the classroom, I was able to go to one thing, teaching reading, teaching math, and I really loved it because that's what I went to school for, and I really enjoyed it. And it does have its demands because you are trying to meet the needs of all of these different students, and they are all different, and they're not kids that you had in your home. So you need to look at what they need and try to meet their needs. And also you want to make sure the parents are happy and that you're doing right by your parents. And so it was a little bit different for me that first year. I spent a lot of time preparing, getting ready for the day, and, just really working on the teacher skills, where before I was able to, work with my own children. Now, one of the things I liked about going to school was that it was focused. When I was at home, I would throw in a load of laundry, teach something. I would answer a phone call and then teach something. I would fold laundry and teach something, which has its good points. But when I went to school, it was a little more focused. I didn't have as many distractions, and I kind of liked that. It worked for me well. And so that's why right now I'm still doing it. And my kids that are graduating right now, my youngest one started out in kindergarten in that situation, and first grade, and they're almost done with school. So I'm really thankful for those times that we had together. So I just want to tell you that some of the similarities of the two would be that they both need patience. Like, people would say, oh, you have a lot of children, you must have a lot of patience. Well, I think any teacher any mom needs patience. So both jobs need a lot of patience and dedication, resilience, and flexibility. Like, you are going to have to be ready for anything as a mom. You know, you might have your whole day planned and somebody throws up and that's it for the day. You know what your job is now. You're going to have a sick day. Well, if you're in the school and something happens, you have to be flexible as well. Sometimes I've gone to school and they'd say, "Oh, we're having an assembly and everybody go to the gym or everybody go to the auditorium and we're going to have an assembly." So then you have to scrap your plans for the day, rework everything. And I learned that as a teacher, you do have to be flexible. And you need to be constantly learning and growing in both situations. Like, as a homeschool mom, you might think, I don't know how I'm going to do it 5 years from now when they need this information. Well, you're going to be growing and learning right along with them, and then things come up and you're able to work with your kids. You don't have to know everything for the next 5 years. You just work on today and you're going to be growing and you're going to be learning as a parent, as a teacher, as a mom. And the same thing is true with teaching. Every year is different and students bring in new challenges. This year I have some special needs students in a regular classroom. And so I have to constantly be learning and trying new things to reach the students that I have, which may be different from year to year. The emotional investment and sense of purpose is great in both professions. As a homeschool mom, you need to just give it your all. And you also have a sense of purpose that is greater than you may have ever imagined. You know, having kids is exciting, and when they're little, you hold them, you feed them, and as they grow, you realize how much you have to put into having these children and growing these children. And even as a teacher, sometimes you don't even know what is going to come up next, and you just have to give it your all and be ready for anything. So in conclusion, I just want to say this. Both parts of education, or both professions, if you want to be a homeschool mom, it is great. If you want to be a teacher who brings their kids to school, that is great too. If you're just a teacher and your kids are all grown, these are wonderful roles, and I am thankful that I was able to do both. Like, I didn't just homeschool and say everybody has to homeschool and that's the only way kids can learn. I was able to change when I needed it, and I think that's important, that we realize education of children could be an ever-changing experience. And so just embrace the stage that you're at. Give it your all. And this year it might be homeschooling. Next year it might be in the classroom, or vice versa. You might be in the classroom and then you decide, I'm going to be homeschooling. So whichever one you prefer, they're going to be equally valuable and equally demanding. I would like to encourage you that you would use your unique gifts to help your children or your students, and that you would embrace wherever you're at. If you're staying home with your kids, just give it everything you've got. And just remember that even if you fail at something for the day, it's okay. Tomorrow's another day. That happens in school also. That happens for everyone, anywhere, right? Don't put perfection as your goal. Just put in to do the best you can. And I just want to respect you for partaking in education, because I believe that's one of the most important things we can do, is to educate the next generation. I have 13 children, as you know, and the hardest thing I've done is to let them go and let them choose for themselves what they want to do with their life. And sometimes they make one decision and they might come back and make a different decision, but they need to feel like they are living their own life. So it's not about us, choosing the path for them, but we are making a path so that they're ready to do whatever they choose in the long run. So give it your all. I appreciate you for your dedication and your hard work in no matter what you're doing in life. And please, if you would go ahead and post below, are you a homeschool mom? Are you a teacher? Are you just a friend watching this video? Or maybe you have homeschooled, or maybe you were a teacher, and maybe you have something else that you do now for a profession. I would love to hear about it. Please post below in the comments, and thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Like I said, if you could give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, that would be awesome too. I'm trying to grow my channel, and let me know if there's something you would like me to talk about as a mom of 13, homeschool mom, Christian school teacher, and I actually do some community service as well. I'm on the school board in my town for the public school. I am also a library trustee in my town, and this year I am a New Hampshire state representative. So that's another interesting aspect of my life right now, and it takes all of these things. It takes dedication, it takes flexibility, and I'm just giving it what I have. And this is what I have. And thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Have a great day.